All right, it says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know. We will get this started. Gotta get the stream overlay there. I'll pop the chat. I saw like 80, 70 people, something like that, sitting in the chat. Lots of people already here, so I do appreciate you guys stopping by on a Sunday morning with me. Let me pop this chat out, get everything set up, and we will get this going. Should be a fun one today. I think it's a really fun slate. Lots of ways we can go, so definitely looking forward to it. And it's not a tough slate in the sense where there's not very many great plays. It's just there's a lot of good plays, so you have to figure out which exact way you want to go with. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun one. I do enjoy the short flat tracks for DFS purposes. Tend to be a bit more projectable. We get a decent amount of practice data, and we have already ran at several of them so far this year. So looking forward to it. Should be fun. I'll let everyone roll in. Make sure you guys can hear me. It says loud and clear. I can always count on Andre there. So what is up, everyone? Let you roll in. Probably go about an hour today. And I want to mention, I think the contest is already filled. I didn't even start the stream yet. So that is awesome. I do appreciate the enthusiasm for it. And yeah, it's full now. So if you did not get the chance to do so, I do apologize. Maybe we should have made it bigger this weekend, but absolutely awesome. So let's roll in here. What's up? Got my man Paper Chaser in here first. Let's see, fellas, let's do it. Let's do it. Should be a good one today. Nedrick says, who's cooking? I was cooking earlier. Made a breakfast sandwich. What is up, my man? What's up, Kay? Let's get this money. Let's do it. Well, let's do it. What's up, Eric? What's up, Ryan? Hunter says, what a shirt. Yes, this shirt is from Hunter. So if you like it, you got to give him props. If you don't, well, you can blame him for giving me it. All right, Milton says, we'll start with some questions here, though. Any faith Blaney turns it around, got faster each time out, and then said in qualifying he hit a bad lap car, had more speed than it showed? Oh, I don't think Blaney's going to be as bad as his practice speeds indicated he'll be. Like, he was battling for a top 20 as far as his 1 and 5 lap runs are concerned. I think he still can be a top 10 contender, but at his price point, we need him to get up front and dominate. I'm not sure a top 3 finish is going to cut it when you have guys like Martin Truex, Chase Elliott that show legit speed and are on the front row that can lead a large chunk of laps. Then you have Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain moving through the field with some PD and Dominator upside. So Blaney, while I don't think he's going to completely suck today, for DFS purposes at 10K, I'm not sure it's going to be enough to get the job done. So I feel pretty good about taking underweight approach on Ryan Blaney, if not a full fade on just Team Penske with how bad they looked on Saturday. It seems like they completely missed the setup, which was concerning for me because I thought they were going to come out flying because they've been killing the short flat tracks this year, especially Blaney. But I'm the one to really go against what I saw on Saturday, so I'm just going to have to stick with my guns here and just take the underweight approach on Penske and Blaney. Got a donor from a man Clint. Do appreciate that from the Discord. Happy race day also. Chris, tell me how you feel about Harvick today. Let's have a great day. Well, I know you're a big Harvick fan, so you're going to like what I had to say about Harvick, but there's a reason I put him as the thumbnail today. I do like him quite a bit. Has an excellent long-run car, got faster as it progressed. We know he's great at the short flat tracks. He's actually top 5 in green flag speed at them so far this year. $8,800, which I feel like the price has gone up over the past few weeks, but starting in 10th, I mean, he was second in the 15 lap in practice, only behind Kyle Busch. I realize not everybody ran a 15 lap run, but the long run speed's there. He's great at New Hampshire. I'm liking Kevin Harvick a lot today. I think he's gonna have a great car. Aaron says, good morning, Chris. Excited for another awesome day of NASCAR DFS. Going to be a hard to beat that front row today. I totally agree. I love the front row today. Going to have exposure to both of them a lot, and I think you can play them together as well. I said Truex good in practice and qualifying. He has to be running great. Yep, I am totally with you there, Aaron. Totally with you. Completely agree. Love both of those guys today, and I know people might shy away from using the driver starting 1-2 in their lineup, but I have no problem with that. I mean, there's a reason they're the 2 favorites in Vegas. Both were strong in practice. They didn't really blow you away with like one, first and second as far as 1, 5, or 10 are concerned, but they're still fast enough and obviously put down a great qualifying lap. So hard to bet against them. Both guys are excellent at short flat tracks. Rick says, Chase Elliott, Truex, Busch, Byron, Harrison Burton on FanDuel. What do you think playing against 4 people? So personally over on FanDuel, I don't really like getting to the scrubs very much. On DK, yeah, I would get to 20+% of guys like Burton, Ty Dillon. Over on FanDuel, you don't really have to do that. And I think when you do go the punt route on FanDuel, I don't think you're building lineups in the most optimal fashion, personally. Because what I tend to do is I'll get, like my highest predicted lineup over on FanDuel today, I think the cheapest driver is Almirola at $7,800. And I feel good. You can still get 3 studs. You can get a Busch, Chastain, William, Byron together. You can throw in a Harvick. So I don't really like the scrub route, especially if I'm building a single entry. If I'm doing 150 lineups, sure, they'll get filtered in there. But if I'm just building 1 against 4 people, I would probably take out one of those stud drivers and then put in more of a mid-range guy to get away from Burton, if that makes any sense. Got my Ranchman spread here. What's up, my man? I got Tito. Let's go Truex. Yeah, good week to be a Truex fan, I think. And if you're in the Discord, Tito said he's going to do something special if Truex wins today. So I'm definitely rooting for it. What's up, Rick? Morning, CP. Tito and Spready. What is up? What is up? Will says this guy needs some beauty sleep today. I do. Yeah, I got to have the beauty sleep, but Tito called me at 9 a.m. today to wake me up. Wasn't a big fan of that. What's up, Cameron? Good morning, Chris, and everyone else here. Ready for another week of NASCAR DFS? Let's do it. Any tips for me on how to manage groups for this race today? So the only thing I did in the optimizer, I set a Dominator group of, it was Truex, Elliott, Ross, Kyle Busch, Byron. I'm pretty sure I threw in Bell in there as well as the Dominators, and I wanted to make sure I get at least 2 of those in all my lineups. And then I just X'd out the complete scrubs at the bottom. That's the only groups I did today. But you're going to want at least 2 DOMs per lineup today. But a lot of mine end up having 3. And the ones that have 3, it's typically 2 of the guys starting closer to the front, and then it's either like a Ross or Kyle Busch as the third pairing there. Natalie says, good morning, everyone. Good luck today. Thank you, Natalie. Do appreciate you stopping by today. Cameron says it's not as easy being as hot as Chris is when it comes to NASCAR DFS. I like it. I like it, Cameron. Luke says, I like this slate a lot. I'm right there with you. It's a fun one. I think there's a lot of ways to go, which should spread out ownership. Love how many options there are at the bottom as well. Yeah, it's a fun slate. The thing I always say, though, is when there's so many good plays, that means there's going to be a lot of trap plays as well. So trying to figure out who's going to be the trap plays is definitely going to be kind of tough today. I do think probably the number 1 candidate to be a potential trap is Austin Dillon starting in 30th, because he's been great at short flats this year, but sucked in practice, and he could just be one of those guys that's stuck around 25th place all day. But you have nice pivot options there with Chris Buescher, Justin Haley, Cole Custer, even Brad Keselowski in a similar price point. So we'll have to try to avoid the traps today, but many ways we can go. I mean, there's a few other guys we can mention if you guys bring them up, but I won't just rattle off here. Ken says, let's go, boys. Let's do it, Ken. Let's do it. Will says, I don't know, have you heard from him on Warzone yet? We'll be playing Warzone later tonight. Always got to do that on Sunday night. Me, Tito, Bull, and Jules doesn't go to bed early. What's up, Christopher? Race day, boogity, boogity, boogity. Yeah, let's do it. No rain in the forecast today. At least I don't think. Last time I looked. But shouldn't have any issues there. What's up, Andre? Has anyone seen Molly? I have not. But Kyle Busch or Truex? Rob, points-wise, I believe I have Truex higher today. Yeah, it's within a point, but I do have Martin Truex higher projected. So if I had to pick between the 2, I would side with Martin. Obviously, he's starting in the pole, so there's downside if he happens to lose spots. But I'd say there's a pretty strong chance he can lead the majority of stage 1 and be a contender throughout the entire race. Obviously, his pit crew's been great this year, helping him maintain or gain spots on pit road throughout the season. He's got the best pit stall, and it's been very tough to pass the leader at the short flat tracks this year. So as long as he gets a good jump at the start of the race over Elliott, I think they run 1-2 for the majority of stage 1. If that's going to be the case, we're going to see Truex click off a lot of laps led and fast laps as well. So I'll go Truex there because Kyle Busch isn't a lock to lead laps. Meanwhile, Truex is in the best position to do so. But my 2 highest projected players on the slate, or drivers, I should say. But I'll side with Truex there slightly. Keith says, is Chastain a safe play? Yeah, Chastain's a very safe play today. He's a similar play to Kyle Busch. Didn't show quite the practice speed yesterday, but we've seen a couple times this year, several times really, where Chastain didn't show like 1-2 speed, but then he's top 5 during the race. So I'm not overly concerned about that. Obviously, Kyle Busch was super fast in practice, but Chastain's very similar play, but $1,200 cheaper. So yeah, he's pretty safe today. I think you can play him in cash games. Chastain's getting punted. It's certainly possible, but we could have been saying that the past month now, and it just doesn't happen. I mean, at some point, sure, it will. And definitely didn't make any friends last week at Atlanta, but I can't play it to where I'm afraid to play Chastain because he'll get dumped. Because if he doesn't get dumped, I'm going to regret not playing him. So I'll just take the chance that he doesn't. I think once we get to the playoffs, that's when we really have to start worrying about Ross. But we'll see. What's up, Sarugi? Awesome stuff as always. Oh, used to being on awesome stuff as always. For FanDuel, 3 plays that you like regardless of GPP and cash. Thanks again. No problem. So my 3 favorite plays over on FanDuel right now, looking at my exposures, it's going to be Kyle Busch, Chastain, and Kevin Harvick. Those are my highest guys right now. Truex and Rolling Byron right there, but those are my 3 favorite currently. I love Kevin Harvick is $8,200 on FanDuel, which I feel like once you translate that to DraftKings, it feels like it's, like, I don't know, somewhere in the 7K range. So you're getting a real nice price point over there. Hard not to load up on them, especially because it's less. Dominator points aren't as important over there, so you're just looking for the good finish, which is exactly what I'm playing Kevin Harvick for. So fits in real nice over there. Franklin says, wondering if Truex is going to set sail and roll them. It's certainly possible, man. Certainly, I've seen it many times in the past where Truex, when he gets up front, he can hold that lead. And I mean, he's got a lot going for him in this race. I think it's a perfect setup, and obviously good at New Hampshire, good at short flat tracks, and I've mentioned it many times, but this is a great spot for Truex. The only thing you could say that's going against him this weekend is that he wasn't like first or second in practice, but that track position to start the race can definitely negate that. And practice isn't the end all be all. It's not like he sucked or anything. It was still 5th in the 1 lap in practice, and then top 10s across the board for the most part. So, what's up, Chris Racer? Andre, I'm getting to well, I'm pretty behind, I guess. What's up, Brian? What's up, AJ? Let's go. With some cash, let's do it. Let's do it. Brian says, I'll take Ryan Blaney or Stuart Haas for the W this week. Man, before the weekend started, I would have definitely took Ryan Blaney for the win. But man, Penske just absolutely sucked during Saturday's session. So I have my concerns there. I do think Stuart Haas could potentially win. Now, if that's going to be the case, I think it would be Kevin Harvick. But they did show some speed. Briscoe was very fast in practice. Harvick was great on the long run. Almirola shows some top 5, top 10 speeds there. Cole Custer, I mean, he's always the forgotten guy. He's definitely the worst of the bunch, but he was top 20 in practice. Obviously, we wouldn't expect him to win, but Harvick's definitely got a chance to win today. It's certainly possible. Do I think it's likely? No, but I think he can be a top 5 contender. Might have to get a little bit lucky on pit road, get some really good pit stops there, get lucky on a little bit of a strategy call, but he can definitely be a contender today. Franklin says Hamlin will be hunting for Chastain. He might be. I mean, we could have said that. I mean, he had his chance to dump Ross last week for a long time. I was watching Denny's in-car camera for a decent portion of that race, and I mean, he's got Ross right behind. What is it? I forget exactly what happened, but I know at some point they got together there, and Denny ended up having a good finish there. So I mean, we'll see. I mean, he had his chance last week, and it didn't happen. So. Gotcha, Keith. Carmi says, what's up, Chris? What's up, Carmi? Hopefully you're having a great morning so far. Douglas says, love your channel. Missed out on a great payday last week when the Joy wrecked. Still ended up $100 to the positive. Well, appreciate that, Douglas. Glad you enjoy the content. Yeah, it was unfortunate about Corey LaJoy. If you guys are watching the race last weekend, we had Corey LaJoy winning the race near the very end. Honestly, could have won, but it was either him or Chase Elliott, and I'm going to take Chase Elliott most of the time winning that battle, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, it was unfortunate. It was really cool to see, though. I mean, LaJoy was legit during that race. K-Diz says, race for the prize, said it's hard to trust New Hampshire NASCAR practice lap data. The track was much faster in the first session, so the numbers are skewed. Yeah, they were definitely faster in the first session, because if you're watching the second session, they're definitely a lot slower for a good chunk of that time. So, I mean, I'm still not going to throw a practice session, but it's not the end all be all. Like, because Ross Chastain, he was 12th in the 1, 5, and 11 lap, but I still think Ross Chastain's a contender to win. But I'm not going to also ignore the guys that were super fast as well. So, I mean, it's definitely something to consider, but it's never going to be the end all be all. Like, I don't think Chase Briscoe is going to be a top 3 car at the end of the day, if that makes sense. But I'm definitely not going to ignore it. AJ says, Chris, I was so close to winning big money last week, then LaJoy wreck at the end sent me tumbling. Yeah, it definitely hurt me as well. I was overweight on Corey LaJoy, and the ownership last weekend was very interesting. The mid-pack drivers were a lot higher owned than I anticipated. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin. very high owned, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I mean, we know it's a super speedway. I know people probably maybe view it more as a hybrid, and I think the Xfinity race was very boring to watch, and they kind of got strung out a little bit, so maybe people overreacted there, but ownership was very weird last weekend. But I mean, it was good news for you if you played some of the back guys, because I mean, if the mid-pack drivers are going to be super high owned at super speedways going forward, that's good news for us in the long run. So yeah, the LaJoie wreck sucked though. I mean, he was breaking the slate. He was the highest scoring driver, and then what, he finished 21st or something like that. I mean, still okay for DFS, but it wasn't a slate breaker or anything. I already read that. John says, Truex, Chastain, Harvick, Ty Dillon, Bowman, Jones, okay for DK Cash. I'm going to be honest, this weekend, DK Cash is really tough. I'm always transparent with you all, and I'll admit when Cash seems like it's an easy build, and I'll admit when it doesn't seem like an easy build, and this is not one of those weeks. And it's not because there's a lack of good plays, it's just there's a lot of good plays, because you can make a case for Busch, Truex, Elliott, Ross Chastain, even Byron and Cash games as far as your Dominators are concerned. So a little bit tough up top this week. I don't think there's really a set lineup you can kind of just roll with as there is most weeks. But as far as this lineup is concerned, you have Truex and Chastain up top, which I think is fine. You have Kevin Harvick. I like a lot today. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there in cash games, but I do like him quite a bit. Ty Dillon's fine, Bowman, Jones. Overall, it's a very solid lineup. The only iffy cash plays I would say there are Harvick and Jones, but I like them a lot today. I wrote them up in my articles, so if you want to roll with that in cash today, I don't have a problem with that. What's up, Bull? He says, hold up, what is up with that shirt? Go Cats. Well, I said if you sent me a shirt, I'd be a Kentucky fan. I don't like college sports, so whoever sends me shirts, I'll just wear them if it's your favorite team. But living in Florida, I feel like I had to wear this. So, but if you give me a Kentucky shirt, I'll wear one on stream for you. Eric says, Almirola is pretty good here in at track types. Wish he queued further back, but maybe a good contrarian spot. Yeah, Eric, if you like Eric today, I think it's a good thing he qualified well, because it's going to keep his ownership lower. Because if he qualified in the 20s, everyone's going to be on Almirola because we know he's great at these types of tracks. But qualifying so high, people are going to shy away. But it's not to say that Almirola can just hang around the top 8 for the majority of the day. I think he's a nice pivot off of Chase Briscoe. He's a nice pivot off of Alex Bowman, because he's got legit top 10 potential to finish. Chase Briscoe showed a lot of speed, but he's going to work his way through the field at a track where I'm not sure it's going to be too easy to pass. Maybe he's more so contending for a top 15, with Almirola having a chance to get into the top 5. So yeah, I like him a lot for tournaments. Don't think his ownership's going to get anything too crazy, but should definitely have a good run today. Frank says 2v2, Kyle Busch and Harvick, or Blaney and Chastain for single entry, please and thank you. I'm going to have to go with Kyle Busch and Harvick there. I like Chastain a lot, but I think the combination of Busch and Harvick definitely outweigh that, because I'm not super high on Blaney today. I'm not super high there, so I like Kyle Busch and Harvick quite a bit. Carmi says, what you feel about Kyle Busch and Kurt today? So Kurt Busch, I think, qualified a little bit better than where he's going to run today, so he's kind of in a tough spot starting in 3rd place. I'd rather get to guys like Almirola and Briscoe personally, even Kevin Harvick in the 8K range. Not to say Kurt's a terrible play. I still think I have 10+%. But as far as Kyle Busch is concerned, I love Kyle Busch. You can make a case for him being the best play on the slate. He lit it up in practice, starting in 17th. He's been great at the short flats this year. He's been great in general. I see no reason not to like Kyle Busch, and his pickery's been great this year as well. Lovely girlfriend Julian is here. Good morning from Oakley and I. We're eating some protein pancakes. That sounds fantastic. And yeah, we're going to need some good luck today, that's for sure. Probably not as much as last weekend, because last week was just to spin a wheel and hope for the best, but always take some good luck. Robbie says, if it's hard to pass to this track, is it possible Kyle Busch can win the race just off pits? I mean, his picker's been great this year. I definitely think it's going to help him gain spots. And yeah, it's going to be tougher to pass, but I still think it's going to be impossible for the fast cars to move through the field. Like, we've seen it many times this year where we're at a track that's tough to pass, but the guys that are really fast can still rip through the field. Maybe not quite as easily, but over time they will. And Kyle Busch, you're not playing him to dominate stage 1. He's more of a maybe later stage 2, stage 3 kind of guy, but he's going to be contending at the end as long as he stays clean, doesn't have any issues on pit road or anything with his car. So yeah, it's certainly still possible for Kyle Busch to win the race. Bull says Oakley. Bull loves Oakley. Bull says the CP family ranking. Oakley, Jules, and... Man, I got the short end of the... Was it stick? Is that the right saying? I'll keep that in mind, boy. I will keep that in mind. He says, you're welcome, rise and shine. You know I don't like getting up before 9 a.m., Tito. I've been waking up at 10 the past week, it seems like. Ken says, do we have to worry about inspection this morning? I think we're good. I can check Bob's Twitter. Sometimes we get a curveball, but I think we're good. Let me check. Guess Bob just got done with his tweet up. I have not seen anything. Let's see. Nope, looks good. We have a 20% chance of rain, which I think it was 10% before, so that's not... I'm not worried about it, but you never know with NASCAR. Stage of 70, 115, 116. Like, if Truex could just lead all of stage 1, he is set. As long as he doesn't wreck at some point, he is set. But yeah, it looks like we're good on inspection. The only thing I'd really care about is if a Dominator goes to the rear, I guess, or maybe like an Umbrella or Kevin Harvick, but even then, I don't think we're going to have anything. What's up, Dave? Morning, Chris. Thoughts on Bell? Bell didn't really show the speed I thought he would heading into the weekend with how good he is at New Hampshire and short flats in general, but he qualified well, starting in 5th. I think he's a sneaky potential Dominator. I don't think a lot of people are going to go there, but we know how great he is at short flats. The thing is, though, it's been kind of odd this year where Christopher Bell's been a lot better at the intermediates compared to the short flat tracks. So I'm not super high on Bell. I have a hard time seeing him just straight up pass guys like Truex and Elliott near the front. So at $9,100 though, if he's going to ride around top 5 all day and pick up fast laps, yeah, it's an optimal path, but I don't think that's the most likely scenario. Because I think he's definitely at some point going to get passed by William Byron, who's super fast. I think guys like Kevin Harvick, and then obviously Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain are going to be factors as well. Andrew says, which 3 drivers do you have the most exposure to? So right now, I believe it's Martin Truex, Kyle Busch, and then, let me check. It could be Chastain after that, I'm not sure. Okay, so on DK, it's Truex, Busch, and Byron. I mean, it's very close between Byron and Chastain now. Like, they're all like under a blanket there, but the top 2 by far is Truex and Busch. Then over on FanDuel is currently Busch and Chastain. So, kind of like the likely guys you'd expect. Nothing too crazy there. Franklin says, anyone going to the back? Not that I know of as of right now. Not that I know of. Then he says, your thoughts on Eric Jones, please. I like Eric Jones. He did well at Gateway. I believe he brought home, what was that, P7? Yeah, P7 at Gateway, 13th in Martinsville. And then he was also 6th in the 5-lap in practice and 14th in the 1-lap. Obviously, he's starting in 22nd. He's got top 15 upside. Don't think he's a bad tournament play. Chris says, Haley or Burton? Oh, it's got to be close in projections. I will check. So I have Haley a little bit higher. I like the speed he showed. I don't think he's going to be a top 20 guy, but I have Harrison Burton just slightly above Justin Haley, but I think they're both pretty interchangeable for the most part. Joe says, how do you decide being different today, playing Truex and Kyle Busch? So if you are playing Truex and Kyle Busch, how do you get different having those 2? Well, instead of playing guys like Briscoe and Bowman, you could pivot to guys like Almirola and an Eric Jones or something like that instead of going with a chalker. Instead of playing like a Ty Dillon or Austin Dillon, you could go to a Chris Busch or a Harrison Burton. If that's the question you were asking. Oh, where'd we go? Lost the chat. Okay, Jared says, let's win some money. Let's do it. That's always the plan. We'll see what happens. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, but... let's see. Tedo says, how do you guys feel about Truex as a weekly one-and-done pool pick? I don't really know exactly how a one-and-done pool pick works, but if it means just to do well today, I would say it's a good week to want to be on Truex for sure. So I wouldn't have anything against it. What's up, Geb? Jeb? I think it's Geb. I always get that wrong. Who's your favorite GPP Doms today? So the cash Doms are going to be guys like Busch, Truex. I like in tournaments a lot. I like obviously William Byron a lot. I don't know. I'm not sure that many people are going to go the William Byron route. He's going to be owned. He's only $9,400, but obviously was super strong in practice. Already dominated a short flat track earlier in the season, and he also finished 3rd at Richmond. Had not a great day at Phoenix or Gateway, but I'm one to look past that. I like the speed that he showed. Obviously, he ran well in the Xfinity Series race. Not that it means much. Like, I'd hope he'd do well there, but he still was running well. Then ended up having I think it was a flat tire and an engine issue, which killed his day at the end. But starting in 6, I like William Byron quite a bit. And also Chase Elliott, who is going to be popular. I don't think it's going to be as popular as guys like Chastain, Truex, and Busch. I like him as a pivot up there as well. But I don't really see that many people dominating outside of a few guys. Like, maybe a Larson surprises us, which I'm going to have some Larson exposure. But outside of the guys you'd expect, like a Truex, Elliott, Byron, or Busch, or Chastain, I'd have a hard time seeing anybody else really just completely dominate the race today. Unless Penske just somehow finds some speed. Vinny says, I took Harrison Burton top 10 at 20-1 yesterday. I thought it was worth a sprinkle. Whew. Yeah, top 10 is going to be tough. I'll be honest. He's going to have a lot to go right. Probably going to need some wrecks. He was fast in practice, but we will see what happens. I'm looking at his finishes at short flats this year: 25th, 26th, 18th, and 29th. It's a tough bet. You'll need some luck, but I hope it hits. Yeah, Dave says, good morning, Chris. What's up, Dave? Which core you like best to build around? Kyle Busch, Truex, Briscoe, or Kyle Busch, Truex, or Chastain? I like the Busch and Truex combo the most today. That's not to say that they're an absolute must together. Like in cash games, I know people are going to play Kyle Busch and Truex together, but if you can't quite get the lineup you like with Kyle Busch, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to drop Busch to Chastain in cash, and then maybe fit another Dominator instead of going with another mid-range guy. Maybe anyone see Molly says, you were the man, bro? Thank you. No problem. No problem. Best mid-range drivers. So in the mid-range, the guys I like the most currently, Kevin Harvick, Briscoe, Almirola, Bowman, and Eric Jones in the mid-range. Those are the guys that I'm having a good chunk of exposure to. Chris Palmer says, Austin, Dillon, or Haley in cash. If it's cash games, I'm going to go with Austin Dillon there. I do have my concerns. He could be a bit trappy today, but the price is hard not to like. Chris Davis says, do you like Elliott, Byron, or Kyle Busch better for cash? If pricing isn't an issue, I'd get Kyle Busch there, but it's also a bit of a price discrepancy because Busch is $700 more than Elliott and $1,600 more than Byron. So again, if price isn't an issue, though, I'd take Kyle Busch there. Mass says Megan said he likes the Gators too. Mass, I couldn't tell you one thing about the Gators besides their colors. I'm only wearing it because Hunter got me the shirt. Steve says Chastain is getting wrecked today by a Toyota. I mean, we can't be certain. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to play my lineups as if someone wrecks him out. If it happens, well, it happens. Then we can kind of get that over with and we can play Chastain safely. But personally, that's not going to be the strategy I roll with. I do understand if people want to go lower on Chastain in case someone wrecks him, but I'm not going to go there. If that's going to lower his ownership, I will take it. But, I mean, at some point, sure, it's going to happen, but they might be waiting until the playoffs when it matters. So we'll see what happens, but I understand your viewpoint. Ryan or Rin, I apologize however I'm pronouncing that wrong. If you had to pick out of these drivers, who's going to finish the best? Jones, Austin Dillon, Briscoe, Wallace. I'm thinking Briscoe. I think it'll be close between Jones or Briscoe. I'm gonna side with Jones there, but I think it'll be close. But I'll side with Jones. A1 Beast Mode, your message got retracted. I don't know if you want to send that again. I'm not sure what happened there. Joe says, how often do you see the top 10 changing today? Really, the only guys out of the top 10 I can see falling. I think Kurt Busch probably falls. Bubba Wallace could fall. Keselowski will probably fall in the top 10. And then they'll probably get replaced by guys like Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain. We might maybe Blaney on the gun creep in there as well. There's probably going to be someone surprising in there, but I feel like those are the best candidates to drop out of the top 10. Robert says, who do you like more, Byron and Harvick or Martin Truex and Chase Briscoe? I'm going to go with the second option there. I think Martin Truex has a good chance to lead a lot of laps today. Byron's not I mean, I like him a lot today, but he's still in a good spot, but he's not in the front row. Truex can obviously just easily outscore the entire field by a good chunk. And I like Chase Briscoe as well. Fast in practice and starting early in 30th place. And he also won the short flat track early in the season as well. You're welcome, Kenny. If you're talking about last week, I'm sorry you wrecked at the end. I'm sorry. We were looking really good, though, until the last couple laps or whatever it was. But I thought LaJoie was going to end up winning the race. Unfortunate. AJ says, better projected low ownership play, Brad, Cass, Bubba, or Almirola. Almirola's got to be the guy there for me. Bubba Wallace, he qualified just really high, starting in 4th. Almirola did as well, but he's really good at short flat tracks. He honestly has legit top 5 upside here. Keselowski, I think he's going to be more so battling for a top 12, so I'll take Almirola there. Yes says, what do you think about Larson? I know he wasn't fantastic in practice, but this is the lowest salary I've seen him in a while. Yeah, Larson was actually pretty good in practice, and at this price point, it makes him viable. Like, if he was, if he was his usual price point of like 11.6 on this slate, I'm not playing Larson, but at 9.6, I'm going to get to him a little bit. I mean, he was 4th in the 1 lap and 5 and the 10 lap, 5th in the 15, and no one really else ran 20 and 25 laps, so I'm not going to rattle those numbers off. But starting in 8th, I know short flat tracks really aren't his bread and butter, but he does have some decent numbers. At New Hampshire, a couple top 5s mixed in there, just not really a dominator type guy, but finishes with the short flats this year, 12th, 19th, and 5th, and 34th at Phoenix, but not a terrible play today. I'm not sure he's going to get up front and dominate, but it's certainly possible. Kenny says, have me close to winning big, yeah. Yeah, it was really nice before the LaJoie wreck at the end. It sucked. It was really cool to see, though. I thought he was going to win. It would have been awesome. Would have shaked up the playoff picture quite a bit. King Entrepreneur says, what's up, family? Well, yeah, what's up, man? Who's your top GPP play? Top GPP play today? Probably William Byron, as far as the Dominators are concerned. I like him a lot. Like William Byron a lot. What we got? Andrew says, in single entry GPP on DK, how many drivers are you playing over the 10K range? Usually just 2. And it's basically just combinations of Busch, Truex, and Elliott, and then I'm mixing and matching those guys, and they end up getting paired with either a Harvick, Byron, or Chastain for the majority of the time. That's what a lot of my lineups look like today. Dave says, Chastain must not have went to the Food Lion, so I think Almirola dumps him today. Hey, we'll see. I'm not gonna build my lineups that Chastain gets wrecked. It's just not something I'm gonna do. It's an outside factor for where if it happens, it happens. I'll take the result either way. Obviously, there is risk there, but I'm not sure today's the day they're gonna want to get payback on Ross. So we'll see. Hunter says you need a step stool to make your pancakes. I wonder if she saw that. I forgot you and Hunter were beefing. We'll have to schedule that boxing match between you and Jules. Ryan says, who's your must-have chalk drivers today? I'm thinking Kyle Busch, Briscoe, and Ty Dillon. Must-have chalk for me today, I would say Martin Truex. Probably Kyle Busch. The thing is, though, I think that he's pretty similar play to guys like Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, so I don't call him a must-play. Really, the only must-play guy for me is Truex. I think there's a very strong chance he just kind of runs away with this at the beginning and then sets sail, and we'll see what happens after Stage 1 ends, but he should be a contender for the majority of the day. But I like Ty Dillon down low for cheap. He showed some speed in practice, but I don't want to call anybody else really a must-play for me. But I don't mind the guys you said. Jesus says, who is your must-own on a single entry and how much ownership do you have of them? And a single entry? If it's a single entry, I'm playing Truex. Like that's going to be the first guy I end up plugging in, more than likely a single entry, and I have close to 60% over on DK currently. Alex says, no love for Kyle Larson today? I don't hate Kyle Larson, it's just not a guy I'm going to go out of my way to fit in. Like, I know the price is down, but let's be honest, this is where it should be this year. Maybe not for this specific race after we saw practice and qualifying and all that. Maybe you think you should be a little bit more expensive. Sure, that's a fair statement, I guess, but I don't really see him getting up front and dominating. Could he run top 5? Sure, but I'm not sure that's going to get the job done after we see some guys pick up some lap lead points. I'm still playing him, though. I don't want to make it sound like I'm completely fading Larson, but I'm still going to probably be underweight to the field there. Rob says, can we assume Bubba will be pushing Truex on the start? I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't think Truex is really going to need the push, but doesn't Bubba have the DraftKings car this weekend? I'm checking the paints. Yeah, he's got the DraftKings car. So if you're looking for a narrative, just speaking of Bubba Wallace here, there you go. But I just wish he was in a better spot than starting in 4th. He also wasn't amazing in practice. It wasn't terrible, but for a guy starting 4th, I'd like maybe a little bit more. But he was 7th in the 5 lap, 9th in the 10, and 4th in the 15. But starting in 4th, I mean, that's still losing spots if he kind of averaged right around there. There we go. I see my mom's here. What's up, Mom? Happy rest to everyone. Go Logano. Go look, NASCAR fans. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Bull says you mentioned spinning a wheel. Bull loves his wheel. That's how he built, I think, his Daytona lineup earlier in the season. Or whatever it was. Gregory says, do I still like Jones? Yeah, I like Jones. Jones is a good play today in tournaments. Showed some speed in practice. Had some speed at Gateway. Had some speed at Martinsville. Starting in 22nd, I like him today. Both him and Dillon were pretty fast. Chris Palmer says, are Kyle Busch and Chastain essentially the same play as long as Chastain doesn't get wrecked? I wouldn't say they're the same exact play. I do have Kyle Busch projected higher, but that's just because you showed me some more speed in practice, and that is going to get translated into the projections. But I think they're theoretically pretty much the same play. But I mean, if they were the same price, I'm obviously flocking to Kyle Busch. But Ross, at $1,200 cheaper, it's easier for him to fit into lineups. So, but as far as my projections are concerned, like I have Busch around 62, and then I got Ross at 53. So yeah, I'm giving Busch more juice there, but I think they are similar plays. Let's see. A1 Beast Mode says Q favorite value under $7,200 on DK for cash. Under $7,200 for cash games, the guy I'd get to first is probably Austin Dillon there. I'm not sure I want to leave that much money on the table, though, but it would be Austin Dillon between everybody there for cash games. If it's tournaments, it'd probably be Chris Buescher. I like Buescher a lot today. Franklin says Larson might be a sleeper. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be terribly low owned, though, because I mean we're used to him being the most expensive driver on the slate, and now he's, what, like 8th or something like that? So people are going to play him because of the price drop, and it was fast in practice, but we'll see there. I just don't think he's going to dominate. Sharp says, CP, can I get into your tourney on DK? Send me an invite. I would, Sharp. I'd love to invite you, but it actually filled before the stream started. I'm not sure why everyone was antsy to get in this weekend, but I do appreciate it. So thank you to all of you who helped fill it. But yeah, make sure you try to get in earlier next week. Big Deal says Buescher or Haley. I would go with Buescher there. Showed some speed. He's been good at the short flats this year. Starting in 16, he's got some decent track position to work with. Could definitely be a top 12, top 15 guy for the good chunk of the day. Let's see. Pete the Heat MMA here over from Osmo, or I gotta get used to it. Stochastic. You always gotta check out his MMA content over there. But what's up, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Hope if you're playing NASCAR today, I wish you the best of luck. Jason always tells me though, your highest owned driver, your log always wrecks out early, so you gotta let us know if you have one of those guys so we can be cautious. I can reach the pancakes just fine on my own. No Pants says, favorite car type today? You mean like manufacturer? I mean, I don't really have a favorite because I'm looking at my exposure. I guess I would probably say Toyota because I'm high on Busch and Truex, but at the same time, I have a ton of Chase Elliott, a ton of Byron, and a ton of Ross Chastain. So I guess Chevy and Toyota, but I like Harvick too. So I'm kind of all over the place there. But my two highest owned drivers are Toyotas today, so I guess we can say that. Yes, says we're good on rain today. I promise. Good. Don't need any weather issues. You've been busy in the Discord, keeping us up to date on the weather that we've had the past few weeks. Shark Killer says, what part of Florida do you live in, bro? I live by Fort Myers, so it's in the southwest portion of Florida. Very nice here usually. Very, very nice. I want to move there, and I'm trying to convince my wife, Oh, it shouldn't take too much to convince. Just tell her there's warm weather, there's palm trees everywhere and beaches, and it's very nice. I think you'll definitely love it. But I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Tom says, I noticed stacking the back has not been working well for me. I used 2 in the top 10. Well, if you're stacking the back at all track types, that's an awful strategy because you're gonna miss out Dominators. At super speedways, stacking the back is the best way to go. If it's a short track, I typically stack the front for the most part. So if you're doing that every single week, that's definitely a mistake. And I'd recommend to stop doing that. If it's a track like this, a Martinsville, or even intermediate, you're going to want multiple drivers starting in the front to pick up those lap lead points. At super speedways, that's when you can start to get away from that strategy. But at short tracks, yeah, you definitely want some guys up front. FB says, Prize Picks thoughts, CP. You know how I love my underdog line props? Yeah, I know you love those, Rick. I'm going to see if the numbers changed at all. I put in 3 last night. I like them quite a bit. I like the Truex over 52.5, and me and Hunter were talking about this in Discord earlier, where their odds make no sense on the 52.5 because they have them at 54 laps led, and they have them at 26 fast laps, which is what, like 25 Dominator points, and then Vegas has them as a 1-2 finish. I mean, it makes no sense in their projection for their fantasy score. So I took the over on Truex there. I honestly don't know why it's not higher, and I don't know why it hasn't gone up. Then I took the Ryan Blaney under, just hoping what happened in practice. I don't think he's going to be that bad, but 47.5, I mean, it's kind of pushing it for a guy that I don't think is really going to dominate. And then I took the over on William Byron at 38.5. He was super fast in practice. Been fine at the short flats this year. Dominated one earlier in the season. And 38.5, you don't really need much there. And if he's going to pick up fast laps or get up front at any point, he should kill that number. But Truex is definitely the favorite over there. Even Chase Elliott, I think, is fine at 50.5. I mean, looking at their projections for what they have for laps led and fast laps and what Vegas has them projected to finish, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So I think they're a little bit too low. AJ says, Stenhouse, Bubba, Chase, Logano, Amarola, Byron for GPs. This trash or good leverage? So I'm going to be honest, AJ, I don't like Stenhouse at short flat tracks. He just sucks at them so far this year. And I'm not sure if that's going to change because this is what Stenhouse does every single time at a short track, or flat track, I should say. He starts in the mid-20s to low 20s. He practices right around 30th place, which is what he did this weekend. And then all he does is finish in the late 20s for the most part. Like, pulling up his finishes, 32nd at Gateway, 27th at Martinsville, 20th at Richmond, and then 28th at Phoenix. And he doesn't have issues during the race. He just sucks. So I'm going to stay away from Stenhouse. Bubba's a pretty tough play starting in 4th for me. So outside of that, I like Chase. I like Amarola, I like Byron. Joey, I don't think you're getting the best play there for the price point personally. But I do like Chase and Byron quite a bit in Amarola. Mr. Miyagi says, every time I play Kyle Busch, something happens to his car. I understand the pain sometimes, but Kyle Busch has been... You might be just getting very unlucky in the races you play him because he's been very good this year so far. Like, he's got, I believe, he's got the best average finish of all drivers. Time for second for the most top 5s and time for the most top 10. So, maybe you have some bad memories of a couple times you played Kyle Busch, but for the most part, he's really been the guy you've like rostering the most that you've been happy with most of the time. So I'd feel pretty comfortable with Kyle Busch in my lineup. Although I think I played him at New Hampshire once. Like, he was my highest owned driver, and then I want to say his car like broke or something in the lap, like in the very first few laps, and it was not a fun day for me. And he says, Pete the Heat, what's up, you warrior? Yeah, cool seeing Pete here. Appreciate him stopping by. Aaron says, good morning, everyone. Sicker than a dog with COVID. Oh, well, I hope you feel better, Aaron. Hopefully it goes away soon. But I'm glad you can make it still. Best Dominators on DK. Elliott, Bubba. Don't try to slide in Bubba as a Dominator on me. But I do like Chase quite a bit. Top Dominators for me on DK, though, it's going to be Truex, Elliott, William Byron, Kyle Busch, and then Ross Chastain for me today. K-Diz says, what do you make of Harrison Burton's practice speeds? 13, 6 in the 10 and 15 lap. If remotely accurate, he's an absurd value, but hard to trust the kid. Yeah, I'm right there with you, K-Diz. Like, I know the practice speeds were fine, but at the same time, you got to factor in experience for the Cup Series, and he's also a rookie, and he hasn't been exactly that great at the short flats this year. So while he was super fast, I definitely don't think he's going to be running top 15 or anything. I think it makes him interesting pivot off of Dillon because he showed a little bit more speed, but for my projections, I believe I have Harrison Burton at a 24th place finish. So I'm definitely not projecting him to be a top 15 guy. But if he can crack the top 25, that's not a bad day. We're talking right around 28 fantasy points. So, but I definitely don't think he's going to be as fast as practice indicated. But he shouldn't be as bad as some of the other junkers in the back. Chase says Elliott or Kyle Busch for stage points. If it's for stage points, I would say Chase Elliott. I mean, he's got the track position to start with. AJ says, are there any drivers you would consider locks? I would never consider a driver a lock in NASCAR, but if I'm playing like cash or if I'm playing a single entry, I'm probably locking Martin Truex Jr. in. I'd be locking one of Ross Chastain or Kyle Busch in, and then I'm probably getting Alex Bowman if we're talking like a cash game. Which we don't think we've talked about Bowman like at all today, which is really surprising because I have him projected to be like the second highest owned driver on the slate. No one's asked me a question about him today. I don't know if everyone's just plugging him in at the price point and they don't care to ask a question, or I don't know if they just don't like him. Man, I don't think he's like a complete auto smash lock play or anything, but he's a pretty good play today. Let's see. Franklin says I'm worried about Dillon is going to get lap. Yeah, I mean, if Dillon finished on the lead lap today, it'd be a miracle, but you don't really need him to finish on the lead lap to be a decent play today. As long as he's in the top 28, I think we'd be fine with Dillon. Tito says, do you like running Truex and Chase together to be optimal? Yeah, it's fine. If people are going to be shying away from rostering Truex and Elliott together, I mean, good for me. I like playing both today. I don't see why they can't both be optimal. Like, I realize there's no PD upside, but if Truex leads stage 1, then Chase Elliott gets a good pit stop for stage 2, and he comes out front. I mean, we could easily see them both lead 100-plus laps today, and they're going to both be in the optimal lineup if that's going to be the case. So, yeah, I mean, you can sign me up for both. I mean, it might not be my absolute favorite pairing together, but it's not something I'm going to not do today on purpose. So, totally fine with that. Mason says, Almirola has a great pit stall. I think he will make some ground on pit road. He's been good on pit road so far this year as well, which should help him maintain. So, maybe even gain some spots. I mean, starting pretty high up, so I'm not sure exactly how many spots he's going to gain, but I'm really hoping just Almirola maintains today, picks up some fast laps here and there, and contends for like a top 7. If he does that, I'll be happy. Nothing to it but true it. It rolls off the tongue well. Henrik or Joe Gibbs today? I'd slightly lean to Joe Gibbs, but it definitely looked like the 2 top dogs today. It just goes slightly in because you got Truex and Busch there, but Elliott and Byron look very good as well. Yeah, and no slouch to Kyle Larson either. He's there too. No Pants Check says playing anyone under 5.4K today. Under 5.4K, let's see. Burton. I'll get to some Burton, but I don't really want to play Todd, or obviously not playing Ware, McLeod, Blick, or Yaley. JB says this is a track where there's a lot of wrecks, or shouldn't be. I know Xfinity Series yesterday was kind of a mess, but I never really compare Xfinity to the Cup Series, but I wouldn't really imagine it's a wreck fest today at a short flat track. If there is, I'd be shocked. But sometimes you never know. But I wouldn't plan on it. Bull says, come on, son, the like it's only showing 42 likes with 282 people. Probably did an update, but if we only have 42, that is a problem. So if you haven't yet liked it, please do that. I do appreciate that. Hopefully we can get over 100 plus. Not sure where we're at yet, but I do appreciate the close to 300 people in here, I guess. It's not an exciting track or anything, but I'm glad you guys are stopping by today to hang out before the race. Chris says, Bowman, Burton, Truex, Chastain, Kyle Busch, and Dillon. Okay, I got to reorder that in my head here. So you have Busch up top, Truex and Chastain, then Bowman and Burton. I'm surprised that even fits. It's a nice lineup. And then you have Truex, Elliott, Chastain, then Bowman, Dillon. I think I'll lean the second one there. I think. I'm trying to think here. So you have Dillon, Austin Dillon, Chastain, Bowman, Elliott, Truex. Yeah, Yeah, I'd probably start with the first one, actually, because you get Truex plus Chastain and Kyle Busch, and then Bowman. Yeah, that's a good lineup. Yeah, I'd probably go with the first one there. Oh, I got a donut from my man Bull. I do appreciate that. Do we need 2 contests this week? Lots of interest. Hey, if you want to make a new contest and people want to join, you can do it. I don't have a problem. It doesn't hurt anything if it doesn't fill. So if you do want to join a contest and you weren't able to do so, if you just want to join a second one, we'll make one in the league for you. But wouldn't hurt to try. There's lies. DFS Ed says, thoughts on Logano? Team Penske seems to have missed the setup quite a bit. I expected some really nice things for them heading into the weekend. You know, I did in the Stochastic top 5 picks video. I had Blaney in there. And then, obviously, I thought Penske was going to be really good, but they sucked in practice. 24th in the 1 lap, 22nd in the 5 lap. It was just bad all around. Starting in 12th, he's just so expensive. Like, why not just take Kyle Busch there? Why not just play Truex or Chase Elliott? So, I am very low on Joey Logano today. If he was cheaper, maybe I get more interest, but it's real tough for me to get the Joey for a guy that I don't think is going to dominate. What's up, brother Chris? Glad you could make it today. I know you're usually busy with, I don't know, you said you do something like crazy for work or whatever it is, but I'm glad you could stop by. Aaron says, so how many DOMs will be optimal today with DK? What's the most you leave on the table for a single enter GPP? I think we're going to see, obviously I think we're going to see at least 2, but I do have a lot of lineups with mine being 3. So it's going to be in that 2 to 3 range. We'll see. It could be 2, and then with a cheaper Dom as a third one, with maybe like a Bell or a Harvick or something like that. And then how much leave on the table for single entry GPP? I wouldn't leave much today because I want to get exposure to the Dominators. If I'm doing that, don't really have much of a chance to leave too much money on the table. So I'm going to use a good chunk of my salary today, pretty much in all my lineups. Rocky Wellsand says, Bubba for the win. I don't know about that. I don't know about for the win. Doesn't seem to have a bad car. It's the DraftKings car as well if we're looking for a narrative, but I can't see him winning. Chris says, which cash lineup do you like better? Busch, Truex, Larson, Briscoe, Ty, Dillon, and Burton? Or Truex, Elliott, Chastain, Briscoe, Ty, Dillon, and Burton? Probably the second one there. I don't want to play Kyle Larson in cash personally. I'll go with the second option there. Aaron says, what is Kyle Busch's projected outcome? Will he hit 6x? How does he get there? Well, I can pull up my worksheet here and tell you exactly how I have him projected for this race. Okay, so Kyle Busch, I currently have him at 5.7x. I gave him 33 laps led, 24 fast laps. There's some decimals in there, but I'm not going to read it to you. So that's 19.35 Dominator points. I gave him an 8.84 projected finish, which it's not actually 8th place. As I always say, it's a medium projection. I think it's like a 4th or 5th place finish once you stack them up. And starting at 17th, you do the place differential. That lands me at 62.67 points for the medium projection. And how I do my projections, it's 5.7x. Not a bad day from Busch. So there, I walked you through how I have Busch projected. Is it ever going to be exact? No. Sometimes it gets close. Sometimes it's off, but they're medium projections. I don't do it on ceiling. Let's see. Carmi says, how about Michael McDowell? I'm not going to do the McDowell today. Just slow in practice. 30th in the 1 lap, 30th in the 5 lap. Hasn't exactly been amazing at the short flats this year. I know he's been hot, but I'm going to pass on Michael McDowell. Jay North says, join late. No problem at all. Sorry if you went over it, but what's your lean on favorite cash plays? For me, I'm getting to Truex, Chastain. Who's the other guy I like a lot in cash? Alex Bowman as well. I keep forgetting about Bowman. No one's asked me about Bowman, and it's just surprising me. But yeah, Bowman, Chastain, and Martin Truex are pretty much my 3 favorite cash plays today so far. Bigger says, how do you feel about Keselowski? He's a dart throw. It's just tough where he's starting in 9th. I have interest in him because he's really good at New Hampshire, but you got to keep in mind a lot of those numbers were in Penske equipment. But 8th in the 1 lap in practice, 14th in the 5 lap, 12th in the 10. Doesn't seem like he's got a bad car. His teammate Chris Buescher looks fast as well, so I don't think he's a bad tournament play. Just a little bit tougher to get to him. Chris says, thoughts on Buescher? Buescher's a great play today. I mean, I think you can make a case for Buescher being a better play than Austin Dillon, and people are going to flock to Austin Dillon in the masses. So he's definitely a really good pivot there. 7th and 8th in the 1 and 5 lap in practice. Albert says, looking at Kyle Busch, Truex, Bowman, Jones, Buescher, and Ty Dillon for cash. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, for cash purposes, I'd probably end up moving Buescher to Austin Dillon just for the safety net there and just chasing ownership. But, I mean, it's a solid lineup either way. Dave says, how much do you consider pit stall assignments when making picks? I mean, it's never going to be the determining factor for me. If they have a good one, it's obviously going to be something that's nice throughout the race. Like obviously Martin Truex Jr. having the best pit stall for this race at a short flat track is definitely going to be something that's going to help him out. But it's never going to be something where I'm going to fade a guy because he doesn't have the most optimal pit stall. So it's there if you want to try to make a judgment call in like 1v1, but it's not really something I'm going to go completely diving in on where I'm going to build all my lineups based off of pit stall assignments and things like that. I think that's trying to do paralysis by analysis. What is it? Paralysis by analysis or something like that. I think that's getting into it maybe almost too much sometimes. It's nice to factor in, but I'm never going to make a complete decision over it. Aaron says, why do we keep saying Kyle Busch will make the top 10? What's changed this week? Why do we think he's going to be in the top 10? Well, Kyle Busch, if you're looking at his numbers so far at the short flats this year, 2nd at Gateway, 7th at Martinsville, 9th at Richmond, 7th at Phoenix. He was 1st in practice. And if you're looking at his numbers so far this year overall, he's got an average finish inside the top 10, the best of all drivers. So I'm not really sure why you wouldn't have him projected to finish in the top 10. I think not having projected to finish in the top 10 would be more of something you have to explain rather than having him inside the top 10. It's also time for the third best odds to finish the race and finish first in Vegas. So I'm not really sure why you wouldn't have him in there. Jeremy says, Chris, what's up, Jeremy? Thanks again for your work. You were the most handsome YouTuber I've seen. Appreciate it, Jeremy. 35,000 feet in the air in South Dakota. Goodness. Well, I'm surprised you have... Every time I get Wi-Fi on planes, it just sucks and I can't do anything. So I usually download some stuff on Spotify before I get on and then use the free TV or whatever is on the Southwest. Surprised your internet's working enough to get a live stream going. Jesus says, new sponsor for Truex. Is he having a new battery charge? He looks weird in this Interstate Batteries paint scheme. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's true. I thought it was Kyle Busch for a second, and I'm like, that's Truex? Saw him in the green fire suit, and I was like, that looks weird. But see what happens. They got him on the pole, so you might like it, I guess. But I agree with you. It looked kind of odd. Alex Duckwall says, happy race day, Chris. Best of luck today. Appreciate it, Alex. You as well. Thoughts on this cash build? Truex, Kyle Larson, Chastain, the Dillon brothers, and Chase Briscoe. It's solid. I'm not the biggest fan of Kyle Larson in cash today, but I wouldn't say that's a bad lineup by any means. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Avery Drake says, you like Bowman on Marola or Harvick and Keselowski? I would go with the first option there. I like Harvick a lot, but Keselowski could definitely be a bit of a lagger there. Bowman's solid, should be a top 15 contender on Marola. Honestly, he's got like top 5, top 8 upside today. Rocky says, if Bubba stays top 5, do you think he would make optimal with as low ownership as he's going to get? All right, well, let's try to walk through this here. So I'm going to look at my heat map. If Bubba finished in the top 5, so his outcomes would be potentially, if he won, 48 points, second, 44, third, 42, fourth, 40, and then fifth, 38. Maybe you get some fast laps mixed in there so you can bump those numbers up just a little bit. So let's just say Bubba just holds position at 40th, or at 40 points, finishing in 4th. He is priced around guys like Eric Jones, Cindric, Bowman. For them to get 40 points, they'd have to go... So Bowman to get 40 points has to just get a top 15. And that's not factoring any Dominator points or anything. Cindric would have to get a top 16. I think it's more likely they hit those numbers more often than Bubba Wallace does getting a top 5. Because, I mean, Bubba Wallace getting a top 5 is not something that typically ever happens. So it's possible, yes, but he's going to have guys like Bowman struggle, even Suarez on Marola, all those kind of guys, Eric Jones even. For Eric Jones to get 40 points, he's going to have to get a top 13, which he's finished 7th, 13th the past 2 short flat tracks. They're just things to keep in mind. He's going to have other drivers fail around him, and he's going to have to hit his absolute ceiling for that to happen. So odds are that does not happen, but maybe there's like a 1 to 3% chance it does. Bull says, sending you a DBC shirt to wear on stream, or shirt you better wear on stream. If you send me a shirt, I don't care what it is, I'll wear it on stream. I will definitely do that, Bull. No problem at all. Shark Killer says, it was awesome to see Corey LaJoie doing his thing when they thought he was just going to get swallowed up. Yeah, it was awesome seeing LaJoie up front. I thought he was going to win. I really did. Obviously, holding off guys like Chase Elliott at the end and Ross Chastain are always going to be a tough task, but LaJoie held his own for a long time, and it was really cool to see. Which Henrik driver has a steering rack issue today? I think it's Bowman's turn. Hope not. If I had to pick anybody, I would hope it to be Larson's turn. But I have a good chunk on all the Henrik drivers today. Mark says, making on Chastain getting put into the wall for payback that's long overdue from almost the entire field. Yeah, it's going to happen at some point. When is it going to happen? I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not going to build my lineups like that's going to happen, but if it does, I'll take the yellow and I'll put in Chastain next week, I guess. I don't know where we're at next week, though. I have no idea. I think someone said it was Pocono the other day, which that sounds boring. Man EC says, is lowest owned driver. You're asking me who the lowest owned driver is? Excluding the scrubs, I can tell you my projected lowest owned driver. Let's see. I would have that as, again, including the scrubs, Michael McDowell and Todd Gilliland. And then Mo Wallace is right there as well. BK for the make or break. It's risky, but I mean, the upside's there. He's great at the short flats. Used to be, I should say. Now he's kind of, you're hoping for a top 15. But RFK's got some speed this weekend, and New Hampshire's a very good track for BK, so I don't hate it for tournaments. Joel scheduling the boxing match with Hunter. We got to have that go down. We really do. Be a fair fight. Yeah, man, I agree with you, Shark. It was really cool to see what LaJoie did. For him, winning would have been the coolest thing, although it would have hurt Blaney because we need some repeat winners because he's great in the point standings right now. But if we get a bunch of new winners, he's in some trouble. Rob says cash driver 7,100 or less, not named Dillon. Okay, can't use Ty either. Oh shoot, under 7,100 bucks. I mean, I'd probably go Busher in that scenario. Probably would go Busher. Jesus says, how much Austin Dillon do you have? I'm currently sitting at around 30%. Right around 30% currently. Manny C says, highest owned contrarian pick on DK. Thank you in advance. Contrarian pick? Highest. Oh, you mean like in my personal exposures? It's probably going to be like an Eric Almirola there. I like him a lot in tournaments today. No Pants says, will there be many crashes at this track today? I hope not. There really shouldn't be any crashes today. We could see it stay green. I mean, maybe we get a spin out or something, but unless it's like Ross Chastain getting walled by Hamlin. Outside of that, I think it should be a clean race, but I hate to say that because we've seen a couple times this year where you'd expect it to be a clean race and it's just absolute chaos. But the short flat track so far hasn't really been anything too crazy so far this season. Tend to be a little bit boring. Bull says Truex and Elliott together in single entry, a bad idea? Not at all. That's totally fine today. A single entry, I mean, again, maybe it's a riskier strategy, but I don't think it's a terrible call at all. I mean, these are the two guys I would expect to lead the most laps today, so I don't have a problem with that. And you're basically locking up stage one Dominator points. I'd be very surprised if it's not Truex or Elliott that leads the most laps in stage one. Very surprised. Unless they take each other out and freaking Bubba Wallace ends up leading stage one, but I don't think that's going to happen. Justin says, Burton or Gilliland? Love Ford here. I would go with Burton personally. He's got some more speed. Thoughts on Harvick, says Twiz. I love Harvick today. I don't feel like no one's asked me about Harvick, but I do like him quite a bit. I mean, excellent long run car, starting in 10th. He's below 9K. New Hampshire's a very good track for him. Great at the short flat tracks. Has similar odds to win this race as guys like William Byron, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, only slightly behind Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. So, I mean, yeah, I like Harvick a lot today. You guys are very worried about wrecks. I guess I know the Xfinity Series had a lot of issues. Do you anticipate any wrecks? I mean, there might be one or two, but I'm not expecting like a big one at a Talladega or Daytona or anything. I think it's going to be pretty much a green race for the most part, outside of the stages. Yeah, but I know I'm behind in the chat, but if you want to do that, I'm fine with it. I mean, we still have about 3 hours until lock, so we could probably get 50 plus people in there, maybe. John says, I'm like number 92, also in your $3 tournament. Appreciate it, my man. Wishing you the best of luck today. Go Gators. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Gators. They're just in Florida. Someone gave me the shirt, so I'll roll with it. Let's go Gators. Yes says, I will 100% eat that loss if Bubba does well today. I trust him as far as I can DoorDash. Yeah, I'm not playing Bubba today personally. Like, starting in fourth, the path for him to be optimal is so slim. So slim. John says, I'm in Sarasota, Florida. We are neighbors. What are you, like an hour away? That's pretty cool, John. We're not too far away from each other. It's cloudy here. I'm not sure what it is in Sarasota, but it's been cloudy all day. It's kind of odd. It's usually sunny. A1 Beast Mode says, QQ, if my last spot in cash lands on Reddick, should I change things up? Yeah, I would change that up. I'm not going to go Reddick and cash today. Like, if you don't already have Briscoe or Harvick in there, I'd just get one of those two instead. Dan says, are 2 place differential guys too little? No, I think that's fine. It's a short track, so passing is usually a little bit tougher here, and guys that are starting close to the front tend to stay up there for a good chunk of the race, so yeah, that's fine. Franklin says, Ty Dillon getting lapped concerns me. So think about it like this. Like, there's going to be a lot of guys getting lapped if it's a pretty green race, which is what I'd expect. So, yeah, I'm expecting Ty Dillon to go laps down. But if he still finishes like 28, 27, that's not going to kill you. Is it going to be optimal? Yeah, that's the question. I'm not sure if it's going to be optimal. So that's why I'm getting to a lot of guys like Chris Buescher, who I think can stay in the lead lap, starting in 16. So that's something to definitely consider. Even a guy like Cole Custer starting in 23rd. I mean, he's got a better chance of staying in the lead lap than more so than a Ty Dillon, but also Ty Dillon starting in the very back, so you don't necessarily need him to finish in the lead lap to be optimal. Thoughts on Jones? Yeah, I like Eric Jones today a lot in tournaments. I'm probably not getting there in cash games. I don't think he's the worst cash game play, but starting in 22nd, he's definitely a guy I can consider in all formats. Showed some speed in practice and did well with that past 2 short flats. Where we go? Thoughts on Cindric? He's just part of the Penske stable that really struggled yesterday. I mean, they looked awful. Cindric has 2 poor finishes at short flats this year, and he has 2 good finishes. Let me pull them up for you. So Cindric's finished 11th the past 2 races at them, then 20th and 24th. Starting in 28th, he's fine. It's just I do worry about the speeds they posted. I'd rather get the Bowman personally, and I'd rather get the Eric Jones. No problem at all, K-Diz. Do appreciate you being here. You're a saint going through every question. I try to go through every question. That's why you guys are here. That's why you guys are here. You make the show for me. So, no problem at all. Brian says, how's Austin Dillon for my final cash play? Have Truex, Busch, Ty, Briscoe, and Bump. Yeah, it's fine. Totally fine today. Austin Dillon sucked yesterday. I will admit he's good at short flat tracks so far this year. Have my concerns. Feels like maybe a bit of a trap play in tournaments, but in cash games, I'm not trying to be the smartest guy in the room. I'll just play Austin Dillon and eat the chalk there. Jeff says, strategy on FanDuel for 3 to 10 person contest. Finishing position king or place differential. For a track like this, and usually over on FanDuel, it's going to be always on the finishing position side of things. So my highest predicted lineup on FanDuel currently has 3 drivers in the top 10, and then the other 2 are starting 17th and 18th, which you can figure out who that is. So, yeah, I'm not really going strictly place differential or anything. It's basically just guys I think can finish high. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if all these guys finish in the top 6. Yeah, I don't think there will be as well, Aaron. I don't think there will be as well. Plus, I mean, Cup drivers are a lot better than Xfinity drivers. Doug says, Kyle Busch and Burton or Elliott and Austin Dillon for cash? Ooh. Man, that's really tough. I think I want to side with Elliott and Austin Dillon. I feel like Elliott and Kyle Busch can score on the same today if Elliott gets up front, which I think is certainly possible. Oh, man, that is tough. I don't know. I just trust Austin Dillon more than I trust Harrison Burton, so I'll go with the second one. But I do think Kyle Busch is going to be higher than Elliott, but I'm going to go with the second one. I think that's going to be better projection-wise. It's a very tough question, though. And that's why I do not like cash this weekend. It's a tough one. Michael Anon says, best finishing position between Buescher, Jones, and Suarez. I think my projections have it just how you have it, Buescher, Jones, and Suarez. Kind of sounds weird to say, but... Dan says, Harvick or Byron straight up today? Projection-wise, it's going to be Byron for me. I think he's got a better chance of getting up front and dominating. AJ says, do you put any stock into the rookies run well narrative at this track? It's not really. Like, I don't think Harrison Burton's going to come out and just destroy the field or anything. So I honestly not really looking at that at all. JD Ski says, I got Elliott, Joey, and Bowman, Jones, and Ty Dillon. Well, let's see. You got 2 Doms. You have Bowman, Jones. Yeah. Is that on FanDuel? I think so, because you have 5 guys there, so I'm assuming it's FanDuel. Jesus says, any thoughts on, or any Hamlin today, Chris? And the next guy says, thoughts on Hamlin. And then the next guy says, have you said anything about Denny? You guys love Denny there. Okay. Well, thoughts on Denny were that he sucked in practice, but the other Toyotas were bad. I mean, obviously we like Truex, we like Kyle Busch. Bubba was decently fast. Obviously Christopher Bell qualified pretty well. So did Kurt Busch. They didn't really show a ton of practice speed, but Hamlin was kind of down in the dumps. He was 21st in the 1 lap, 29th in the 5 lap. Feeling how he's performed at short flats so far this year. 34th at Gateway, issues happened there. 20th at Martinsville. Backed into a win at Richmond. 13th at Phoenix. He hasn't really been a guy I've wanted to roster too much at the short flat track so far this year. So I'm going to be pretty low on Hamlin. John says, is it crazy to think Kurt Busch will get Dominator points and possibly win the race? I wouldn't say it's crazy. I just don't think it's likely. But it's possible. But I cannot see him passing Elliott and Truex at the beginning. I mean, maybe he gets one of them at the start and he runs P2, but I don't think he's going to get up front. It's possible. I have 10 to 12% Kurt today, and over on FanDuel I have more than that. I have around 15-ish%. But I'm not playing him as a Dominator really, but there's a slight chance for it. JD Ski says, should be bets on Ross Chastain causing cautions at 1.5. Probably a safe bet to take the over on that. If it was a super speedway, heck yeah. Alo Loco says, how many laps? We got 301. That's what, 210.7 Dominator points, if you do the math correctly, I think. Bull says, there's 2 contests this week. If you're interested, let me know. Yeah, if you want to join the second contest, if you didn't join the first one, let Bull know, better known as Brandon Davis, in the YouTube chat, or you should have got an invite over in the league contest as well. Chris Racer says, besides Penske being slow, how do you feel about Logano? Well, besides that, I think he's a little expensive here. $10,800 for a guy that I don't think is going to get up front and dominate. Like, if he doesn't dominate at that price point, he's just not going to be optimal. So I'm just kind of staying away there. Oh, where are we at? We got a donor from Man EC. Do appreciate that. I didn't show up on my thing, but thank you very much. Hopefully I didn't miss more than that. That'd be unfortunate, but do appreciate it. Thank you. Uh, 20 people joined the new contest instantly. Oh, hey, if we filled both, that'd be awesome. If you haven't joined the new contest, get in there if you want. Joanne here says, sounds like 130 way tie for first in GPPs today. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good chalky lineups you can make today. It's going to be trying to find that difference maker that gets you unique. So we'll see what happens. Jeremy says, pay it for Delta, it's worth it. I know, it's nice. I just have my Southwest card, so I got all my points on there, so I can usually fly for free. So we'll see. You know? Maybe if Delta has a credit card, we can switch. But I've always liked Southwest. I've always liked them. But their Wi-Fi's pretty bad. Jack Koff says, Bowman, Blaney, Burton, Busch, Byron, Buescher equal Ballin. Oh, I was going to say, I feel like there was quite the alliteration there, but we did it on purpose. Yeah, you got the killer bees there. That's not even a bad lineup. It's really not. I don't know if that fits. But Andre says, seeing some Chase, Kyle Busch, Briscoe for cash thoughts. Yeah, that's fine. Totally fine. Although, I would definitely get Truex in for cash. I mean, even if Truex sucks today, he's going to be so high on cash, it's not going to matter. But then if you don't have him in cash and he goes off, you're dead. So, Flights Demon says, Chris has the best job ever. I do appreciate it. You guys make it possible. So I do appreciate the support, but it's fun. I'll never complain about that. Never complain. I do appreciate you guys very much, though. Yeah, we did, Tito. We got a second one rolling up there. Man, you guys, there's a lot of questions today. A lot of questions. I probably should get out of here soon, but I'll get through. I might try to rip through these quick. I didn't realize we were in here over an hour already. What's up, Bonnie? Happy race day. Single entry GPP. Kyle Busch, Truex, Byron, Cindric, Austin, Dillon, and Burton. Thoughts? If Cindric isn't as bad as he was in practice yesterday, that's a pretty good lineup. If he is as bad, it might hold you back a little bit. Maybe I don't know if you can switch that to a Bowman. But overall, I think it's a very solid lineup. Like, I like Busch today a lot. Like Truex, I love Byron. So as long as they hit, as long as the other guys don't like just completely die, you should be fine. Alex says, but Chris, would you ever wear a Joe Burrow jersey, though? Well, they're a division rival, but he is from Ohio, so I guess I can make an exception for a Joe Burrow jersey. Because, I mean, we got to stick with Ohio gang, right? So I'd wear a Joe Burrow jersey. Plus, he's pretty cool, too. Carmi says, send you a UVM catch shirt. What you want for the size and address, but understand privacy. Hey, if you actually want to send me a shirt, you can DM me on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to do that. But I wear a large. I'll wear a large. But if anyone's ever serious about that, I do appreciate it. I'll wear it for you. 100% will do it. Mongo says, how much Harrison Burton is too much Harrison Burton? I think once you start pushing 25-ish%, you're starting to get a little bit maxed out on the Harrison Burton train. Who's my top dominators today? As far as lap leaders, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and then kind of hybrid doms, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Busch. Got a donut from a man spread. Do appreciate that. Sending you a spread as my number 2 spread. I'll wear that. 100% will. I definitely will. Even though you were attacking me in chat yesterday. What are your thoughts on Lenny Mcqueen today? I think he'll win. I think he's a fine tournament play. We know he can be a little bit stupid with his pit crew though, and not taking tires. So we'll see what happens there. But I think he's worthy a shot in tournaments. But we'll see what happens. Mundo's World says, would you play both Dillon Bros in the same lineup? Yeah, totally fine with me. B-Dog says, I'm going to try to fly through these guys. I've been here for a long time. And I got the stochastic show in like an hour. So, and I still have to build lineups. So I got to get rolling here. But let me try this. Briscoe top 10 plus 100 on DK. Bit steep for me. I know he was super fast in practice. I'm probably not willing to do that. Casey says, let's see if you can keep the FanDuel hot streak. Let's hope so, Casey. Let's hope so. It's been nice. It's been really nice over there. I've been enjoying playing on it. We'll see what happens. Any super sleepers? Super sleepers? Not sure I have a super sleeper for you. Maybe like if you want to consider Eric Almirola super sleeper, sure. Eric Almirola, Bell, Keselowski. Those could be kind of like your under the radar guys. Yeah, Oakley was being loud. I didn't know if you guys could hear that or not. Jesus says, Austin, Dillon, Eric Jones, last man in. For me, that'd be Eric Jones. I think he's going to have more speed today. AJ says, good luck, everyone. I got to get ready for work. Yeah, get to work, AJ. Don't let me hold you back. Appreciate you being here. What's up, Robert? Joining late. How many DOMs are we looking for today? I'm going with 2 to 3 today, Robert. 2 to 3 per lineup. Hamlin takes first today? I hope not. I hope he does not. Sorry to all the Hamlin fans, but that would not be good for me today. Briscoe or Harvick, cash? I think Briscoe's going to have the higher ownership there, so I'd probably just chase that. Adam says, Elliott, Truex, fine for a $50 single entry on DK or pivot off of one of them? No, it's fine. But they're going to be very chalky, though, so try to get a pivot or two in there at some point. Russian Bot says, I was watching last night's video, didn't see you were live. I appreciate you watching, and I'm glad you could make it here at the end. Appreciate that. Zachary says, I just don't get what is so off about the 48 car this year. Wonder if it's more crew chief or driver. It could be both. I don't think Bowman's the best driver out there or anything, so I think he might have something to do with it. Like, he's definitely not close to his teammates like Byron, Larson, Ellie. I think they're much better than Alex Bowman. He's usually always going to be the fourth fiddle there. But hoping for a good race today. He's been solid at the short flats this year, so don't need much out of 7,800. It's not like we're paying $9K for him today, so it makes it a little bit easier on us for DFS purposes. John says, DK, Truex, Byron, Almirola, Harvick, Custer, Jones. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's a good tournament build. Wouldn't go there in cash games, though, but tournaments, that's totally fine. Carmi says, you think there will be a first-time winner? Not today. I can't really see it happening today unless the Blaney came out and won, but I think it's really going to just be either the guys we've been talking about today, Truex, Elliott, Busch, Chastain, William Byron. Would be really kind of surprised if we see anybody else win, maybe besides a Kyle Larson, but I'm not going to expect that. Where are we at? Zachary says, I would go Chase Elliott for the win today. He's on fire right now. I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree. He's been amazing. He has definitely been amazing, and he's definitely, he's tied for the best odds to win in Vegas currently, or at least he was as of last night, and, hard to bet against him. I can't disagree there. Enjoy MLB, Aaron. You're welcome, and I hope you have the best of luck today with both MLB and NASCAR. Do appreciate you stopping by today. Alex Duckwall says, Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, or Burton. His last piece in for cash. For cash, I'm going to chase the ownership there with Ty Dillon, personally. Undercut Sneaker says, best 5K and 6K drivers. 6K, I like Austin Dillon, Chris Buescher. For 5K, I like Ty Dillon. Yeah, pretty much just Ty Dillon. Burton's there. He's fine. Haley's fine. Custer's fine, but it would be Ty Dillon for me there. Favorite lowest salary GPP play? Burton and Buescher. Probably my two favorite low GPP guys down low. What's up, Internet Stress? What is up? I am almost making it to the bottom of the chat. It's been a marathon today. Top 3 GPPs low owned. Almirola. Buescher will be a little bit lower owned, being right beside Austin Dillon. And William Byron up top. He's not going to be completely forgotten about, but he's going to be lower than like Elliott, Truex, all those kind of guys. Thoughts on Justin Haley? I like him. I don't think he's bad. He was 15th in the 5-lap in practice, starting in 25th. He's below 6K. He's a solid play. No problem with him at all. I have around 12 to 15%, I think, of Haley today. 50 people in the contest already. Dang, we might get 100, Bull. We got 2 hours to lock, basically. A little bit over 2 hours. FB says, good luck, everyone. May cash be in your future. Hopefully, Rick. Do appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you in the Discord. No problem at all, Robert. See you at the top, hopefully. Jay Smokes, you're lucky. I was just about to get out of here. What's up? Loving Kyle Busch, Harvick, Bell, Larson, and Bowman. I think today Harvick or Bell could get their first win. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think Harvick's in a good spot to potentially get that win. That is for sure. Moon just says, thanks for the info, bro. Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully it ends up being good info. Hopefully. Nick says, hope Kyle Busch can get it done. I would not be against Kyle Busch getting it done today. I'm definitely a fan of that. I apologize for breezing through the last comments, but we are running late. But it was a chatty chat today. Do appreciate everyone stopping by. Not sure how many people we got in here, but leave a like on the way out. This goes a long way. Do appreciate it. No problem at all, Jay Smokes. Tito says, Chris, sending you a Tito is my #1 shirt. Send me the Addy. Tito, I will wear that. I will wear that with pride. I definitely will. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Fun one today. Do appreciate it. Wish you all the best of luck. And if you want to listen to me talk for an hour again, I'll be over on Stokastic, and I'll be in the Discord. So, should be a fun one today. Wish you all the best of luck, and I'm out of here.